What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the live stream. So we are back at you for another week and yet another week. I'm coming from my brother-in-law's and we've been drinking, and so this is probably going to be an absolute train wreck. But welcome back to the live stream. Let me know how the audio is coming through. In fact, let me check here on my little meters. Looks like we're coming through all right. Maybe a little hot. Let me know how the audio sounds like you're in. But there's my wife trying to make a boomerang for Instagram, and she's totally interrupting the live stream, but it's all right. It's all right. So what's going on? Tell me how you guys have been doing. Let me know how your week has gone. So here's what we've been up to. Nothing from a job standpoint, but this weekend, Rick and I did compete in the Global Cat Challenge, and it was a blast. It was an absolute riot. We had a great time. And I'm just gonna, spoiler alert, I absolutely smoked Rick in 2 of the 3 categories, but Rick pulled it out and smoked me on my bread and butter machine. On the dozer, Rick smoked me by like 7 seconds. I think we're gonna have to do our own little internal redo of the Global Operator Challenge. So we are still waiting on the global results. I talked to the people with Cat, and they did say that it was probably gonna be, I was told theoretically we should have gotten the results last night. It's most likely going to be sometime tomorrow that we get the true results of who moves on to the next round. In all honesty, I don't expect Rick or I to make it to the next round, just because there are a lot of phenomenal operators out there. But nonetheless, it was an absolute riot. We had a great time. So that being said, let's get into the comments. We got Bobby Rabaglia. I don't know that you've ever been number 1, Bobby. So welcome to the live stream, and congratulations on your first time being the first post here. We got Shane, we got Ryan Garrett. How's it going? Finally got a second operator back on our crew. Lasted all 14 hours, so now it's just me again. Now I'm gonna guess, is this the same crew with the same foreman that's running everybody else off? I'm curious what the dynamics are there. So NASCAR fan, hey everyone watching from Tennessee. Beautiful area of the country, by the way. Huge fan of Nashville. Look at this. We got Dirty Miner apparel. This is our good friend who has contributed. Man, Dirty Miner, I don't even know. You're up to like $150 in contributions to the channel at this point. Good to see you, my friend. If you guys aren't aware, go check out Dirty Miner apparel. He has done a ton to support the channel through the live stream, so absolutely go check his stuff out. I appreciate you coming back in. It's good to see you, my man. Thanks for coming out for the live stream. Let's see here. It is 104 in California. That's coming from Shane, Southern California. So I do know, I was talking to my good friend and one of our sponsors of Sweat and Grime, actually. We have Phaser Marketing, and they're based out of Arizona, Phoenix, Arizona. They were at 111 all week. And I know my old stomping grounds of Austin, Texas, I want to say they were running right around 104, 105 for the last, like, I don't know. They've been floating around the hundreds for the last 30 days. It's ridiculous. And we're not even into the, like, prime heat season yet. So it's not going to be pretty this year. So anyway, sausage links. Do you have a choice as an apprentice or to go dirt or hoisting? So sausage, that's a great question. I'm sorry, I got an itch in my eye, and we're just all gonna have to deal with it while I deal with the itch. I think we're good. Okay. Great question. So it really depends on you. I don't want to steer you one way or the other. No, it's an eyelash, ladies and gentlemen. We have got an eyelash, and it is really Okay. There we go. Okay. Oh, by the way, NASCAR fan, thank you for letting me know on the audio. So here we go. It really depends on you. I will say there is a lot of money in hoisting because that market is drying up quick when it comes to new operators and fresh blood. So there is a ton of opportunity in the hoisting world. Now, there's also a ton of opportunity in the dirt world, but the hoisting world is really, really suffering from lack of labor. Thank you. My wife, excuse me, here I am burping as she brings me a drink and I talk about the drink. My wife sweetly made me a drink here. Glorious. Anyways, there is a ton of opportunity in hoisting, even more so than the dirt world, because people are retiring like crazy. They can't find replacement operators, and especially now that things have changed. So you actually have to go through a federally regulated program. You have to get your CCO, which is your certified crane operator's license, in order to operate a crane. So it's not like the dirt world where anyone can kind of walk in, you can do a quick apprenticeship, and then you're on the job. With the CCO or with the hoisting side, you actually have to go get your CCO and be certified to run the machine. So there's a huge shortage on the hoisting side. So what I will say is, on the hoisting side, you're going to deal with a great deal of responsibility. It is a lot of pressure, because at the end of the day, you are responsible for the pick. It doesn't matter if you've got a master hoisting or a master rigging guy that is going through and doing all of your rigging. It doesn't matter if an engineer has calculated the way this whole lift should be rigged. At the end of the day, you as the operator are responsible for the hoist, which means if something goes wrong, you are the first person everyone points fingers at. That's a lot of pressure. If you really want a good look into the world of hoisting, go follow To The Top Crane. He's got a great channel on here on YouTube. He really gives you a good idea of what it's like being in the hoisting side of the industry. And you can see him. I mean, he's a very experienced operator, and somewhat regularly he puckers up on some lifts because they put him in situations where he is right at the limits of the crane. You just have to be okay with that. You have to get comfortable with that. And when I say comfortable, I don't mean you don't stress. I mean, you got to be comfortable living in that level of stress. So I don't want to discourage you by any means, because it is a great career path. There is a ton of opportunity out there, but at the same time, you do have to realize there's a lot of stress on that side of the industry. So you do just need to kind of go in eyes wide open. I don't want to undersell how stressful that job is. It is a lot, but it is a very lucrative side of the industry, and it's a lot of fun. I'm not gonna lie. I mean, you get to be around some really big equipment. You get to run some huge cranes as you work your way up through the industry. It can be a very lucrative career for you. So it is really up to you on what you want to do, but you should go in eyes wide open. So I hope that helps. Let me know if you've got more questions, because I actually just this past weekend at the Operator Challenge, I talked to a guy that is in the hoisting side of the industry. We're about to get him on Sweat and Grime here in the next couple of weeks. If you don't know what Sweat and Grime is, ladies and gentlemen, you've been living under a rock. It's only the best podcast to hit the trades. That's right, hosted by yours truly, Rick Valco, my buddy here on the channel, and Matt Mother Fluffin' Totten, we'll call it that for the podcast, or for the live stream here, since I can't swear. Oof, excuse me. Anyway, we host a podcast that is geared towards the trades. We are not dirt specific. It's geared towards all of the trades, and we have a great time. The whole idea is to give you some entertaining content to listen to while you're in the cab of your machine, and we also want to give you some nuggets of wisdom and kind of give you some exposure to other industries. So all that being said, we're about to have someone on the podcast talking specifically. He and his son are in the hoisting side. He is a veteran of the trade. His son is an apprentice. We're going to get them both on and kind of pick their brains about it. So absolutely subscribe to Sweat and Grime if you want more information on that industry. So that being said, let's get back into the comments. We're about to get a heat wave up here. Week's going to be brutal because the mini excavator doesn't have AC. Well, you got to love living in a hot box with no AC. That is true dirt world living right there. eFix, what's going on? Have you seen the Europe Case D Series Mini X's? They look nice, but might have the Bobcat cabs, which make me have second thoughts. I have not seen the D Series Minis. So Europe is totally ahead of us here in the US. We are just now rolling out the E Series excavators. In fact, they haven't even officially dropped yet. I'm supposed to go to a launch event here in about 3 weeks for the E Series specifically. I think the first units start rolling out here in the US around August, maybe September. I can't remember. So we're actually behind Europe in that sense. So I have not seen the new D Series minis. It would surprise me if they've got Bobcat cabs, just because Doosan has taken over Bobcat. They've bought them, and so Doosan's really heading that one. It would be interesting to see how Case plays into the mix there. So Jesus Rise, what's going on, my man? Hey, thanks for showing up. I have seen you in here before. Thanks for coming back. Appreciate it. Damn it, Bobby, missed the intro. Hope all is well. You know what? You were here, Bobby. I gave you mad props for being number one. And then you missed the intro. How does that happen? What happened, Bobby? What happened? Shane, okay, this week I dug over 5,000 feet of water ditch. 2 crews are laying pipe and I'm chasing them digging services. That sounds like an absolute blast. Sausage links, 114. Sweet Jesus, that is ridiculous. Where are you at, Sausage links? We got Ryan Garrett. Yes, this is the same foreman I've been having problems with. This incident had nothing to do with the foreman. He claimed 9 years of experience, but was super jerky and never completed even simple tasks correctly, then got caught using something that is never allowed on the job. Ah, so you have encountered the classic King Dingling operator that shows up and tells you what a badass he is, and then it turns out he has really no experience whatsoever and totally overinflated his resume. Sounds familiar. We have a lot of those in the industry. So that is one thing, by the way, Rick and I picked up on at the Global Operator Challenge. So I've never considered myself to be an exceptional operator. I'm decent. I'm a pretty decent operator. Rick is a really good operator, but I've never considered us really the cream of the crop here. But it was pretty incredible watching the caliber of operators that showed up for the Global Operator Challenge. As we were watching more and more, I was starting to understand most operators in the industry. I don't want to say most. There are a lot of operators in the industry that really just don't have a grasp on their skills. And that's not a testament to, oh my God, I'm an incredible operator. I really think it comes back to one of the things that I talk about all the time in this channel is, if you really want to pursue a career in this industry, you have to go all in. You have to really pursue your craft. You have to hone your craft. You have to continue to improve on your skill set. And I think there's a lot of guys in this industry that once they get in the seat, it's just kind of like, okay, I can kick back, I can throw my arms up, I can sit here and load trucks, and I can just not learn anything for the rest of my career, and I can collect a paycheck. And as a result, you've got a lot of very mediocre operators. It's not from a lack of talent, it's not from a lack of ability, it's more of a lack of just desire to continue to pursue the passion and pursue honing the craft, I guess. I don't know. So yeah, there's kind of along what you're saying, Ryan. There's a lot of guys that show up. I can't tell you the number of times on a job site we had a guy show up. Oh yeah, I'm a finished dozer operator. Great finished dozer operator. You can call my old employer. He'll tell you all day long I'm a great finished dozer operator. It's like, all right, bud, we'll hop in there and go start spreading topsoil. And next thing you know, an hour, 2 hours later, you go over there and it looks like an absolute dirt cross track and it is bombed out, and you have to send another operator over there to clean up after the guy that claims he knew everything. It's relatively common. Unfortunately, it is relatively common. We got Kia Reams. Hey, y'all, watching from Greenville, South Carolina. Well, welcome from South Carolina. It is much cooler up here in the central Michigan. We'll put it that way. Central Michigan. So I don't envy your temperatures down there in South Carolina, but I do appreciate you watching. Efix, thanks for sharing that To The Top Crane channel. Go check him out. Absolutely go check him out. He is a great operator. He does a lot talking about what he's doing. It really gives you good insight into what it's like being in an actual hoisting application. He drives his own crane around to each job. He goes out, he does the pick, he talks about what he's doing and why he's doing it. It's a really, really good channel. So absolutely go support him. What's happening, Matt? Yeah, no, a long time no see. That's awesome. You know what? I'm glad to have you here, Matt. I appreciate it. It's good to see you, brother. How are things going on your end of the world? Because I know you've been churning out some content. I apologize for not watching. Things have gotten so effing crazy around here. I apologize. But if you guys want some good content, go check out Shane, the Lever Monkey here, and go check out Matt, DigNation21. Both of them put out some really good content. If you want some more exposure to the industry, both of these guys are really good channels to follow. Really good to see you, Matt. Thanks for showing up. I appreciate it. Ryan, also completely forgot to mention this earlier because I was going to message you about it, but I got a phone call from HR this week saying that at the end of last Tuesday, I reached 500 hours and I am now officially a full rate union operator. Ladies and gentlemen, Ryan Garrett, my man, welcome to the Brotherhood of the Official Operators. even though that's not really a thing. Hey, congratulations, man. That's awesome. I'm very happy for you. I really hope that you can find a foreman that isn't a jackass, but at the same time, as you and I talked about on the phone, I'm okay with you having this experience, this really good experience. As much as it sucks, you will look back on this experience for the rest of your career, and you will be grateful that you had to go through that gauntlet, just because it really thickened your skin for what is to come. And most of what's going to come is going to roll right off your back. So awesome for you for sticking it out. I'm proud of you, man. I'm happy for you. I cannot give you enough congratulations. That's awesome, Ryan. Really. Sausage Links, you're in Phoenix. Oh, so you're down there with Phaser Marketing. Luke Eggebroden, that is our sponsor for Sweat Grime, that is out of Phoenix. And he sent me a message earlier this week. It was 111. It's now 114. Ooh, that's brutal. I do not envy living down there. That is brutal. We got Jesus Rides starting a new job tomorrow with a new company, going from a 627K scraper to a 657E. Dude, those 657s, those are some monsters, man. I tell you, your back's going to suffer, but it's going to be a freaking good time. Dirty Mining Apparel. Oh my gosh, look at that. Look at that. Dirty Mining Apparel. Every time Dirty Mining Apparel shows up, the dollar bills start flying, and I cannot thank you enough for supporting the channel. I want to say collectively over the duration of the channel, Dirty Mining Apparel has contributed like we're up to like $160 now. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you to Dirty Mining Apparel. I really do appreciate the support on the channel. You guys are absolutely rocking it. In fact, everybody, head over to Dirty Mining Apparel and check out what they've got to offer, because they are supporting the crap out of this channel, and it's awesome, and I really, really appreciate it. So, but yeah, Jesus Rides, that is awesome, getting into the bigger scrapers. Hopefully, you know, you're talking the new, oh, that's a E series, so that's an old girl. So yeah, that's gonna hurt the back, but it's gonna be a lot of fun because those are monster scrapers. Jackson, what's going on? I don't know if I got first place. I highly doubt I got first place. If you don't know what Jackson's referencing, Rick and I participated in the Caterpillar Global Operator Challenge this weekend. So I didn't even tell you guys about the Operator Challenge. I should probably do that. So we had I believe it was a 320 excavator. It was one of the next gen machines. And the challenge was you had to dig a 25-foot long trench, 2 foot deep, and they actually checked grade with a GPS grade rod. I beat Rick on that one, and it was by like 7 seconds. Like, it was, I soundly beat Rick. Then we had the Backhoe challenge. It was a brand new 420E backhoe. Was it E? I don't know. What is the newest? No, it couldn't have been an E. Whatever the newest series of backhoe is, it was a brand new one. But it was the 420 backhoe. Basically, you started with your front bucket in 4 cones and kind of a box, and you had to finish with your bucket in that box, your front bucket. So you immediately had to back up and back around a cone. It was in soft sand, so you couldn't take the turn too sharp or you were going to get bogged down. As you backed around the cone, you then backed up to a whole series of cones. You had another very, very tight box that your outriggers had to go down into. So as you rounded the corner and backed in, you had to have the machine angled the right way so that your outriggers could comfortably go down and not hit the cones. Once you put your outriggers down, you had a cone over here on your right hand side that had a 4-inch PVC pipe with a hook sticking out of the top. You had to grab that PVC pipe by the hook with your bucket, swing it over to an empty cone on the left hand side of the machine, set it on that cone. Then you had a series of cones, and I want to say there were 4 or 5 tennis balls sitting on the top of the cones. You had to grab the tennis balls, but you couldn't knock over the cones. You could make the cones tip, but you couldn't actually knock them over. So you had those, and then you had 2 basketballs. They all had to go into a 2x2 tote. I was able to get all but I think 1 of the tennis balls, and unfortunately I missed both of the basketballs. The first basketball actually didn't go into my bucket. I lost it. The second one just took a weird bounce coming out of my bucket and actually bounced out of the tote, so I didn't get credit for it, unfortunately. But I was able to complete all of that, and again, I beat Rick, even though it was a backhoe, and I hate backhoes. And then the dozer was the final challenge. The dozer, we actually had to push a tire with the front blade. You could not touch the ground. That was the hard part. You had to push the tire across the ground, but you couldn't touch the ground. So you had to push the tire out, do a 180-degree turn with it, and come back the opposite direction. Drop the tire. You then spun 180 degrees and went back, and you had cones with tennis balls. By the way, the pushing the tire, you actually had cones that required you to angle the blade to fit between the cones. You couldn't fit with the blade at full width to add to the challenge. So with the cones, with the tennis balls, you had to knock the tennis balls off of the cones. You could not touch the cone or you got a penalty. Every time you touched the ground, it was a penalty. So bomb, bomb, bomb. I think there were 4 or 5 tennis balls you had to knock off as you go. You then rounded a corner, and my favorite part, which was a lot of fun, they had a 4-inch piece of PVC that was about this long on a string line. And this string line was probably 25 to 30 foot long, and so there was a good amount of sag in it. And coming off of the blade was a piece of angle iron that you used to push this PVC along. You could not touch the string line and you could not touch the ground. So it was a really, really good challenge. So I was able to actually, of all of the challenges, that was the one that I whipped through with no problem, was able to go almost top speed in the dozer, and then whip around the last corner. You picked your tire back up and carried it across the finish line again without touching the ground. Boom, that challenge was done. So the dozer is one of my like bread and butter machines. I take pride in the amount of skill I have in a dozer. And of all 3 challenges, Rick beat me in the effing dozer challenge. Like, I got too arrogant is really what it boils down to. I got way too cocky because the dozer is my machine. I was like, I won't have any problem with this. And I will say in my defense too, this was at like 9 o'clock in the morning. I had had an extra cup of coffee, which I should not have, so I was very jittery. It's not an excuse. Rick beat me. Rick is a very good dozer operator. Rick's a good operator overall, but he's a very good dozer operator. And Rick ended up beating me, and I want to say it was like by 7 or 8 seconds. So it was a pretty good, he spanked me. So it was a ton of fun, had an absolute blast. But all that being said, we are still waiting to hear back on the overall results of where we came in and whether or not we progressed to the next round. So we'll kind of see what happens. So anyway, Bobby, I was driving and missed the reminder notification. You're Craig B. So this so many stick pullers calling themselves elite in this industry, it's complete madness. There's a lot of people that think they are king dingling, and this is a very humbling industry. It's not like the white collar world where you can go out there and kind of float yourself as being the big badass and get away with it. In this industry, it's very obvious when you talk a big game and you can't back it up with action. So we have Sicilian Defense Dragon. We use 627s to move our dirt in Texas. Ran 627 for 12 years. Where are you at in Texas? Because that is my old stomping grounds, and it is hot as balls down there, and I don't miss it. Thank you, Dirty Mining Apparel. Appreciate it. Matt, decent. I apologize for not watching as well. Been beyond busy. Oh man, so Matt, your son's been having seizures. Why don't you contact me privately, because I would love to hear what's going on there, and if I can help out at all. That's scary stuff, so no need to apologize, but please, Matt, reach out. I'm gonna try to remember maybe tomorrow to shoot you a text message or a call, and let's talk about that. I'd like to hear more on that. I'm really sorry to hear that. That's scary stuff. Sausage links 555 here. I don't know what we're talking about. I don't know what that was referencing. Dirty Mining Apparel, I appreciate you supporting this local operator, because you've supported the crap out of me, and I really do appreciate it. We got Wayne O'Harrington. What's happening? Tapping in the conversation. What's going on? It's good to see you. I don't know that I've ever seen you in here before. Thanks for joining us on the live stream. Appreciate it. What do you think about the new electric D6 dozers? I don't know, because I don't know anything about them. I can tell you right now, the D7E that they tried to fly, that was a bomb. So I would have to actually get some seat time in the D6, the new D6, to really have a definitive opinion on it. But that D7E was an absolute flop of a machine. So anyway, Jackson, I'm sorry, Brian, most of my money goes into savings. Jackson, so first of all, nobody needs to apologize for not donating. I do not do this for donations. I do not do this because I want to get rich. I do this because I want to help an industry that I am passionate about. So Jackson, I appreciate the sentiment, brother. You don't need to apologize. You're all good, my man. You throw that cash in savings where it can benefit you and your future family. You worry about yourself. We are all good on this end, brother. I appreciate it. We got Jason Arias. Any advice for a laborer climbing the ladder? I do research and study on the downtime. Really, that's it, Jason. So I would say, as a laborer, any chance you get to stay late and maybe get a couple, an hour, stay an hour late every once in a while. Doesn't have to be all the time. And get a little seat time. Talk to your foreman. Hey, is there anything I can do after hours as everyone takes off from the job site? Can I get in the machine and just get some practice in? Could I come up on a Saturday maybe for a couple hours and get some practice in? Is there something that I can do where I'm productive at least? I'm getting something accomplished, but at the same time, I'm not under a ton of pressure because the job's actively going. And right there, you've already shown your foreman or your superintendent that you're expressing initiative, that you actually want to learn and progress in your career. So that's a great way to start, is just talking to your foreman. And then, like you already said, watching YouTube videos, trying to gain knowledge so that when you do finally get in the seat of a machine, you aren't totally out of the loop. You've at least got an idea. And no one's expecting you to get in a machine and just sing the first time. Everyone understands it takes time to get your feet under you. It takes time to get your hands under you and learn the machine. But if you understand the concepts of what needs to happen, then it's just a matter of getting your hands to where you understand what's going on, and then you can go apply those concepts and you're going to do really well and you're going to take off really quick. So that's my best advice, is be willing to stay a little bit late to get some seat time in. Show that initiative and your super or your foreman will absolutely pick up on that. Let's see here. Ryan. Well, Brian, you have to tell us now. What are your thoughts on the next gen equipment? So, Sausage Links bringing it in with $5. Thank you very much, Sausage Links. I really appreciate it. Thank you guys very much. All of your contributions, by the way, are absolutely helping the channel. So I don't know if you guys have noticed, but the overall quality of the video here has gone up over the last weeks. That is a direct result of you guys. I was able to go out and we got Dirty Mining Apparel coming in with another $10. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, as I was saying, thank you for the contributions. I was recently able to upgrade cameras. I was able to upgrade lenses, and that is why the overall quality of the image here is getting better, which is going to translate onto the job site as well, because this camera that I'm filming this on right now is the same camera I use on the job sites when we're doing all of our cinematic stuff. So you guys are materially helping me upgrade the channel. We recently, in fact, over this last week, we were able to get Rick a GoPro, 2 GoPros actually. So we will also be getting Rick more on the channel, because instead of it just being my perspective in the vlog series, you're also going to get Rick as well. So we should be able to tag team. All that to say, your contributions do not go into my pocket. I absolutely use your contributions to continue to try to better the channel, to give you better quality, to give you better content, to open more doors for the channel. So Dirty Mining Apparel, Sausage Links, genuinely thank you so much for the contributions. I really do appreciate it. You guys are awesome. I really appreciate it. Let's see here. Let me pop back up here in the comments. Where do we leave off here? Oh, Ryan, the next gen equipment. So here's the God honest truth on the next gen machines. I got about 4 minutes in that next gen excavator. So I have no idea how much I like them. So of the 3 challenges, I don't think I was in any one machine for more than about 4 minutes, because the challenges happened that fast. So I literally got the super high level 30-second intro into how to zero the grade control system in that excavator. It did not have overdig protection, and so I didn't have any guidance on that machine. I didn't get any time to spend in it. I do know that it was fast. We have Sicilian Defense. Oh my goodness, $5. Man, you guys are killing it tonight. This is awesome. I really appreciate it, guys. You guys are killing it tonight. This is great. I really appreciate it. I cannot tell you enough how much I appreciate this. Man, that's so awesome. So anyway, I didn't get any time. Now, that being said, one of the really cool aspects of this weekend is I actually had a conversation with the sales manager here for Michigan Cat. along with the rental coordinator manager for Michigan Cat, I think we're going to start getting some more next gen machines on the channel. I also got involved with the guys from SciTech, which are the guys that are really into, they do all sorts of grade control. So it's all the way from Trimble to some of the laser grade boxes. I mean, they got a ton of stuff, and they're really interested in working with the channel. So I'm really hoping that here in the near future, my first thing on my agenda for tomorrow is emailing the sales manager for Michigan Cat. He actually was very interested in talking to us. He knew who I was. He walked up and introduced himself while I was at the challenge and said he was looking forward to meeting me. I had no idea who he was. So we're at that level to where people from Cat are starting to recognize Rick and I, even though I have never met them before. So I'm really, really hoping that we're going to start getting some next gen machines on the channel. We can start doing some reviews. We can start really diving into the system. I can start doing some down and dirties on how to actually tune the system, how to use overdig protection, all of that stuff. I'm hoping is going to come to the channel. We got Jesus Rides has contributed $2. Thank you so much, man. You guys, this is what a freaking awesome evening. I thought the highlight of the weekend was going to be the operator challenge, and here you guys are knocking it out of the park tonight. I really appreciate it. This is great, guys. Awesome stuff. Awesome stuff. Thank you so much. So I will tell you, the next upgrade isn't even specifically for diesel and iron. The next upgrade that we are working towards, so you guys know kind of where your monetary donations are going. We are getting ready to build a podcast studio, and when I say getting ready, I'm in the process of getting permits to actually build the building. That's how close we are to building a studio. One of the purchases we need to make are 4 to 5 different cameras so that we can get podcast angles. And it is fully our intention to take Sweat and Grime and actually live broadcast every time we do a Sweat and Grime. That is what your monetary donations are going to right now. It is not going into my pocket. It's not going into Rick's pocket. It is going back into the channel. It's going back into the podcast. It's going back into the overall industry, because that's what we are about. So thank you so much. It doesn't matter if it's $10. It doesn't matter if it's $2. It doesn't matter if it's $1. Everything is helpful. Thank you guys so much for all the support. Just the fact that you've subscribed, you've showed up tonight, is support for the channel. I cannot tell you enough how much we appreciate it. So that is awesome. Thank you so much. Whew, let's see here. We got Jackson. I'm sure you loved operating the backhoe. That backhoe, my goodness. I will say this. The new Cat backhoes are really, really nice cabs. So they've actually integrated both of your joysticks. Instead of you spinning around and having them on their own independent posts, they're integrated into the seat. So your right hand joystick is your front bucket controls when you're in the front configuration. As soon as you spin that seat around, both of your joysticks are live and they are your rear controls. There's a lot of really, really nice features in those machines, but it's still a backhoe. And I will say those controls were unbelievably jerky. And it's really the speed. It is a fast machine. And I'm going to post probably here within the next week. I'm going to post snippets of Rick and I's challenge so you can really get a feel for it. That backhoe is fast as crap. So if you really took time to get used to it, it would be a very, very productive machine. But my initial thoughts when I'm trying to do this super precise operating, it was a very, very difficult machine to be super precise in because it was so jerky. Excuse me. Pardon the unprofessionalism. I'm sorry. Now, that being said, I didn't get any rundown on that machine. I don't know if you can adjust the sensitivity. I'm assuming because it's one of the next gen machines, I'm assuming Cat has integrated into it a way to dial down the sensitivity. But when you're in the middle of the Cat operator challenge and you've got 2 minutes to get the ins and outs of the machine, there's no way to dive into that and adjust the sensitivity. So I don't want to speak out of turn by saying you're forced to be stuck with the super sensitive controls, but I will say the initial thoughts on that was it was super, super jerky. It was very hard to be accurate. So it is what it is. Let's see here. Jackson, grab my balls. Well, my God. There you are. We got Dominic Rubini. I'm going to call it Rubini. Dominic Rubini. This channel's badass. Love learning about GPS on dozers. We need to know how to set up GPS videos. Any suggestion for guys wanting to get on a crane? So kind of going back into my conversation, that was one of the key things that we took away from this weekend is we are getting in with SciTech and we are starting to get in with CAT. And I talked to them specifically about GPS stuff. I know there's a huge demand from you guys, from the community, on GPS training materials. And I know it has been a year since I have produced the GPS stuff. I am actively working on the background to try to get more GPS stuff, but unfortunately, when you're not with a big dirt company, it's very hard to get your hands on GPS stuff. This weekend, we may have turned a corner this weekend on that exact note. I'm really going to work with CAT and I'm going to work with SciTech to try to get some more GPS training materials, laser grade box, maybe some total station training. All of it. I want to cover all of it. I want to get more information in your hands. So very excited about that. Now, wanting to get on a crane. The easiest way to get in a crane, and just recognize the hoisting industry works differently than the dirt industry. Go apply at a rental barn. So there are crane rental barns. Laramie Crane. You've got... never mind. I'm not even going to try it because my mind just blanked on me. There are crane rental places all over. And these are the big crane places where, and when I say a rental barn, you rent the crane, but it comes with an operator. It's not you just go rent a crane and go figure out how to run it. You pay for an operator to come with the crane and all of the support equipment. The easiest way to get into the hoisting industry, if you are not involved at all, is to have a CDL. You need to have a CDL to work for a crane barn, and here's why. Most of the time when those cranes go out, you actually have 2, 3, 4 support trucks that are carrying counterweights, jib sections, boom sections, whatever they need. And you will drive out to the job and you will drop that equipment and let the crane offload it. Once you're there on site, that's when you flip over into kind of oiler mode. And if you're not familiar with oilers, that is the apprenticeship for the hoisting side. You sit there, you take care of the crane, you grease things, you oil, you make sure the operator has water. I mean, it kind of sounds like a bitch job, and it is to an extent, but at the same time, you are the support guy for that crane. But the flip side is, when you got all your stuff done, you're standing on the step right next to your operator while he talks you through what he's doing and why he's doing it and how he operates the controls and what does what and what he's thinking when he gets in different situations. That is the apprenticeship for the hoisting side. And what happens is eventually your operator will let you do some of the small picks. Or starting out, you won't even do a pick. You'll just get in the crane and he'll let you kind of mess with the controls and familiarize yourself. And, maybe you can practice swinging the ball over, because one of the skills that you have to learn in a crane, if you can think about a fishing pole with a lure hanging, if I swing over and stop, the lure doesn't stop. If I swing over and stop, the lure is going to swing. That's exactly what happens in a crane. And so one of the top skills you have to learn right off the bat is how to slowly bring the crane to a stop so you're leading the load. You actually lead the load and then you swing over top of it as it starts to swing out. You catch the load, if you will. That's a skill that you have to practice before you actually start doing picks. And that's what your operator's going to let you start to practice. Then you move up and he's going to start letting you do smaller picks and then medium picks and then bigger picks. And eventually you're going to work yourself into the hoisting industry as an actual operator. That's the best way to get into the hoisting side of the business. It's an apprenticeship. Recognize no one's going to put you in the seat of a crane right away. You have to go through that apprenticeship program. You have to be an oiler first. You have to actually go and get your CCO. That is a federally mandated requirement. There's no getting around it. You have to have your CCO. But those crane rental barns will actually help you through that process, and a lot of them will pay for it for you if you prove to be a good oiler and you prove to be, someone that could be a really good operator down the road. So Dominic, I hope that helps out. I know that was a really lengthy answer. Jackson, how does Rick beat you in the dozer? By the way, how did your kids do on the challenge? So Rick beat me on the dozer. First of all, I do want to give total credit to Rick. As much as I love to rag on Rick, Rick is a phenomenal operator, and in none of those challenges, with the exception of the backhoe, because Rick does not operate backhoes at all, I creamed Rick on the backhoe. The backhoe, in fact, we're going to post that footage. I have to verify Rick's good with it, which he will be. uh, Rick destroyed the course in the backhoe. It is awesome to watch. It was hysterical. But in all honesty, Rick is a phenomenal operator. I just, for whatever reason, I was in the zone on the other two machines. But where the dozer bit me in the ass was really arrogance. And I mean, we're all familiar with it. You get in your machine that you're super familiar with. I'm going to nail this. I don't even have to. I can zip through this. The first thing I did is I threw my track speed all the way up because I was gonna be a Billy Badass and crank it out. And ultimately what happened is I got a couple penalties because I actually touched the dirt. And each time you touch the dirt, it was a 30-second penalty. So that's to give you an idea of where I lost all my time, because I touched the dirt 3 times. So it is what it is. You get too cocky and you get burned, and that's what happened. So my kids, by the way, did phenomenal. So right next to the actual challenge, they had the big dig, and that was just where kids could go out, and they had excavators ranging from a Cat 303 all the way up to, I think they had a 330 out there. They had a Broderson crane out there. They had, man, what else? They had so many different machines. They had a loader that they could get up in, and my kids went and operated all afternoon long. Both of my kids, the guys that were standing there kind of overseeing the kids operating, excuse me, and both of my kids, they said I didn't even have to do anything. They stood there with their hands folded. A couple of them were playing on their phones. I know a couple of them walked over and actually talked to the guy next to him. My kids did phenomenal, and I know it's typical to brag on your kids, but legit, both of those kids did phenomenal operating. It was really cool to see. Let's see here. What do you think about Let's Dig on YouTube? Sausage links. Great question. Chris is awesome. Chris does a great job. He is a phenomenal operator. I mean, you want to talk about someone who has truly honed his craft, especially when it comes to the pond stuff, digging in, muck that's 12 feet deep, that if you misstep, you're going to lose a machine. Chris is an incredible operator. And he's just super down to earth. I've never actually talked to him in person, but just everything that comes across on the channel and interactions I know that other people have had with him, he's a super down to earth guy. He is a great resource to learn from. So I cannot dog on Chris at all. He has got a phenomenal channel. I highly recommend, if you don't follow Let's Dig 18, go follow him. Super awesome guy. Let's see here. We're in Kyle, San Marcos. Oh, no kidding. Sicilian. So I am actually from Dripping Springs. That is my hometown. Went to college there at Texas State University. Actually lived down there in San Marcos, right outside of campus. So you're in my old stomping grounds, brother. I will have to come see you at some point. My parents actually live in Salado, and so I'm in that area probably 2 to 3 times a year. And so if the opportunity presents itself, I have no problem driving down, and we should catch up sometime. Ryan Wagner, what's going on, man? Good to see you. Thanks for showing up. It's been a while. So you don't know if you got first place or moved on to the next round? No, Jackson, unfortunately, we are still in the holding pattern. In fact, I'll even check my email right now just to see. Wouldn't it be awesome for the live stream if they emailed who won? Sorry. Somebody texted. I had to respond because that's, you're on the live stream, and it is what it is. I still have nothing in the email. So Jackson, we are still holding to figure out who has won the challenge. So Matt is actually thinking about going into diesel mechanic. I will tell you this, Matt, if you do that, keep up the YouTube channel. We need more diesel mechanics that have YouTube channels. Absolutely document that whole process. Be a resource for the industry, brother. That's awesome. Dominic, by the way, a lot of dozer operators not working much with California not burning to the ground this year as usual. Your videos help the talented but not so technically savvy operators. You know what? I'm here for the technical stuff. I'm sure, as you guys have picked up, I'm a very technical operator. Rick is very much more the just go out there and run by, fly by the seat of your pants and do whatever feels right, versus my mind is always calculating, and I'm thinking, and I'm analyzing the different angles. So I am glad that you recognize that, you're picking up on that, because that really is my contribution to the industry, is how to think more technically about your operating abilities, how to become more efficient, how to get faster. So I'm glad that's coming through, and I'm glad someone's appreciating that. So thank you for the feedback. I appreciate it. Jesus Rides, is it too late for me to join a union? I'm in Texas, 21 years old, currently working 30 hours a week. I'm assuming. But I want that union money. Have no clue as to who to talk to or contact. So I'm assuming you're down in Texas. Are you currently making $30 an hour? You're currently, yeah. So I think so I will say this. There is a union. It is a very, very small union presence. There's my words. There is a small union presence in Texas, but in all honesty, if you want the brutal, honest truth, you need to move up north if you really want to be in the union. Unfortunately, Texas has a terrible union presence. You can't just be the one union guy on a job. They're probably going to take you and try to put you on union jobs, and most of Central Texas area is not going to be union. Really, where the wages start to really show is up in the northern states. Now, as far as how to get started, hop on to the International Operators. Let's see here. The International Union of Operating Engineers. So IUOE .org, I believe, is the website. You can also get onto whatever local you're looking at. They should have their own website, and that is a great way to start. You should have a union VA for that area that is over it. You can contact them. As long as you have skills that you can demonstrate what you know what you're doing, you don't need to go through the apprenticeship program. They will give you a temporary journeyman's card, and then you will work your way into the union with a temporary journeyman's card. You'll pay a fee, basically. That's kind of your cost of admission to get into the union, and then you'll start taking dues out of your regular pay, and that's kind of how you step into the union if you don't need to go through the apprenticeship program. IUOE.org, I believe, is just search International Operators Union and it should pop right up, because I can't think of the actual website right offhand, and that will at least give you some direction. So that is the best way to kind of work that direction. Let's see here. High vis orange tank tops. Let's see here. Yeah, I'm curious. I haven't been on Dirty Miner Apparel's website in a little bit, so I can't even attest to exactly what they are cooking with right now. But I can tell you, I'm absolutely going to jump on there here pretty quick, because I need to get some new. I need some new regular shirts. Which, by the way, speaking of shirts, Colton McCormack. If you guys don't listen to the Certified Wrench podcast, woo! Look at that. Especially Matt, my man. You're talking about being a diesel mechanic? Go follow Colton's podcast, because he has a killer podcast. He's doing really, really well. Go follow. Support my main man, Colton McCormack. He's actually out of the Dallas area, since we've been talking about Texas this evening. He's out of the Dallas area. His wife actually works for Holt Cat. He works for a contractor as a wrench. Super awesome guys. Super awesome guy and super awesome wife. So it's Colton and his wife Kate. Awesome people. Go check them out. Go support the podcast. So yes, there we go. Whew. Jackson, I can't wait for October. I just purchased my tickets for Equipment Expo in Louisville, Kentucky, the biggest landscaping trip. There is a chance, Jackson. We'll have to see what happens. There is a chance I might make it down to that one. We will see. How do I see all that content? Kaya Reams. What content? We are so far in the conversation, I don't know specifically what you're talking about. If you'll let me know what you're talking about specifically, I can point you to it. Let's see here. Making it rain tonight. Yeah, baby, making it rain. I have high-vis orange screen printed hoodies right now, and I do have green and yellow district tees, but they are not printed yet. Use DTF, which will outlast garment. So, yeah, I need to get some of that. I need to get some of that guard. James Rickett, what's going on, my man? Just graduated Heavy Equipment Construction Academy on Friday. Ladies and gentlemen, quick round of applause for James. Thank you for joining us here in the trades. We appreciate it, especially on the dirt side. And thank you for being on the podcast. We've been podcasting too much. Thanks for being on the live stream, brother. Appreciate it. Really do. Let's see here. Brian's getting famous. I don't know that I'm getting famous. I'm apparently causing enough stink that people recognize me, and I do want to distinguish between the two. Let's see here. Shane, I'm lucky I get to test the beta Trimble systems for excavators. GPS Trimble system is what we have on our 870G. That's awesome, Shane. Let me know what you think of the new system, because you're getting eyes on before I do, so that's pretty awesome. Aaron, bonjour. Loving the new videos, my man. Keep it up. Thank you. And by the way, everybody stay tuned. I don't want to toot my own horn here, but I just recorded a whole round of excavator videos. I know a lot of you guys have been asking for more excavator videos, especially getting into a little more technical stuff. I just did a whole round of videos. So let's see here. I did how to climb and descend piles, which I know a lot of you guys in the industry already know. How to load trucks more efficiently, or just hog material more efficiently. I did one on how to clean up in an excavator when you don't have a skid steer or a dozer or support equipment, how you can really clean your grade up. I did one on how to bench a pile down. So when you finally grabbed everything around you, you're sitting up on your pile, but you're still 15, 20 feet off the ground. How do you bench that pile down in a safe way where you can still sit on a pile, but you still got material? So I've done a whole, I think I did 6 down and dirties the other day, specifically on excavators. So stay tuned for all of those. They are coming here in the next 3 weeks. I think that those are going to start rolling out. We got some really good content coming, especially if we start partnering with Cat and with SciTech. We've got some really, really good stuff in the pipeline. So stay tuned to see how all this develops. So that being said, thank you so much for the support, all of you guys, for watching, for requesting videos, for the comments, for showing up to the live stream. You guys are driving this, man. It is, I can't tell you that enough. You guys are driving where we're going here. So it's awesome. Oh, let's see here. What sucks is I have hours of videos I can't use. Well, that is unfortunate, Shane, especially as a YouTuber, and I feel that pain. That is rough. We got Colton just dropping by, gonna take a bath. Well, Colton, I hope you enjoy your bath. Maybe light a couple candles, pour yourself a nice glass of white Zinfandel, maybe rock some Enya while you're in there. Just really relax, have an enjoyable evening, and thank you so much for swinging by. And maybe, you know, if you're interested in the future, we can record some sensual tones, the smooth, silky vocals of Brian from Diesel and Iron, comforting you in your nice warm bath. Ooh, ooh, ooh. Jackson, I was going to say it would be cool if you could adjust the sensitivity like how you can on the gaming controller. So on the new excavators, the next gen excavators, you can do exactly that, Jackson. You can adjust sensitivity, you can adjust limits on swing, you can adjust all sorts of stuff. So it's really cool what they're doing with the new machines. I just didn't have enough time to really explore any of that in the 2 minutes I was given to get familiar with the machine. Jackson, yes, the giant ass cranes that you are referencing are tower cranes. And yes, you do climb a ladder. It is a very, very long ladder. It's generally segregated in, I think, like, I don't know, 20-foot sections. So if you fall, you're not going to fall the entire length of the shaft there. But yeah, it's a ladder. Every operator has to climb up there. Now, what you don't ever think about when it comes to those tower cranes is, what happens if you have to poop? Well, you have a bucket, and you poop and you pee in your bucket, and then at the end of the day, you lower that baby down and you clean it out, and then you take your poop bucket back up there with you the next day. And that is why you will never find my ass operating a tower crane for a living. I like my toilet, even if it's a porta-john. I will take a porta-john over a bucket any day, because I don't want to sit in a cab with my own poop. I don't care if it's my poop. I still don't want to sit with it all day. That's where we are. Let's see here. Yep, it's a long climb. Stevens learned on a doom. They should put it like an elevator or something instead of climbing. Well, the problem is, if you look at the way those are built, Jackson, they're actually built in sections. And so the crane actually builds itself, and they can go as high as you want in theory. Excuse me. I apologize. Dirty Miner Apparel, I just saw your comment. I will absolutely respond at some point. If I don't tonight, it'll be first thing tomorrow. Would love to absolutely promote your stuff on the channel, and I will outright buy some merch as well. Love to promote you, especially for how much you're doing for the channel. I really appreciate it. I cannot stress that enough. We will absolutely do it. Van Gordon Land Solutions just showed up. Is this Dylan? I'm assuming this is Dylan. And I think I kicked your boss's ass in the cat excavator challenge, or the cat global operator challenge. I'm just going to say it. I'm just going to say it. I kicked his ass. Or if this is, let's see here. Why am I blanking on names tonight? My goodness. I did drink too much with my brother-in-law today. Dylan. My God. Dylan and why did I forget? I can't remember his name right now. Justin. Sweet Jesus. Justin Van Gordon. The whole business is named after him. If this is Justin, okay, it is Dylan. Okay, I don't have to feel bad that I totally brain farted on Justin's name. I totally kicked Justin's ass, and you can tell him I said that. Although he may have kicked my ass. It wouldn't surprise me if he kicked my ass just because he operates an excavator every day, and I'm kind of in and out of the seat, so. So Van Gordon Land Solutions, guys, we actually have a vlog coming out with these guys. We just did an old barn demo. It was a really, really cool project. It was sad, but it was really cool at the same time. It was a barn that was built in 1890. The original owners harvested all of the timber for the barn on site. They built the barn. It was standing for 100 years. And then we had to go in, unfortunately, and tear it down because it hurts my heart to say this, but neighbors complained. Neighbors complained about this barn because it was falling down, it was dilapidated, and they all decided that it needed to come down. So we got hired to take it down. We partnered up with Van Gordon. They came out with their sweet ass. I can't say that enough. And I will say sweet ass, because that Volvo has a sweet ass. It is a Volvo. What is that, a 160, Dylan? What size machine is that? I think it's a 160. They've got a steel wrist on it with a grapple. You want to talk about a sexy machine? They blacked that baby out. Oh, wait until you see the footage. It's so good. It's so good. Anyway, that is who we're talking with right here. Oh, we got Wayne Troyer in here too. My goodness, well, I'm missing all sorts of people. Wayne, what's going on? It's good to see you, brother. Wayne Troyer is from Built Right Excavating, which I was really debating wearing this shirt or the Built Right Excavating shirt tonight. So you were this close to being the star of the show, Wayne, but unfortunately, I think I wore you guys either last time or 2 weeks ago, so I went with the Certified Wrench Podcast shirt. But my man Wayne is who we worked with on the project last year when we did, what did we do last year, Wayne? That totally blanked my mind too. This year we actually did the underground tunnel project that you guys are still waiting to see because my hard drive got corrupted. Last year, oh, that's right, we did the shale pit. We filled in a shale pit last year. That was the Lee Bear dozer that I ran. That was Wayne's machine. Built Right Excavating, super, super good guys. Love those guys. Can't wait to work with you guys again. So good to see you. I'm all over in the comments right now. Let me go back up here. Doom, 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 doom. Jackson has a friend. That's what's amazing about the world. It is such a small place. Jackson has a friend that lives in Dripping Springs, which is my hometown in Texas. Jackson is from Washington State. So what are the odds that Jackson knows someone that lives in Dripping Springs, Texas? That's nutty to me. That's crazy. Let's see here. Sicilian, I will reach out. I would love to absolutely see some big projects while I'm down there next time. And if you don't know, Soldier of Dirt is about an hour and a half south of you in western San Antonio area. So I have gone down to see him on a couple projects on some of my trips. Love to come see you. So looking forward to it. Let's see here. Retro for Rich recently got my CDL, but also want to be an operator. I have an opportunity to go to school, but it's going to cost me 10 grand. Should I apply as a laborer and work my way up through the company instead? 100%. Don't go pay for an education that this industry will pay you to get. That's my problem with the trade schools. Don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that these trade schools are ripping people off at all. You can get a decent education, but don't go pay for an education when you can go get a job and get paid for that education. And overall, you're going to get a better education because you're actually doing the work. You're not just talking about it in theory. So all that being said, I would 100% recommend you go the route of working from the bottom to the top. You're going to have way better skill set. You're going to be not in any debt whatsoever. It's just an overall better way to go. Oh, and so Wayne, I didn't actually read your comment. They are getting ready to cover over the tunnel project. So, should happen here in the next 2 weeks. That's exciting stuff. That's really exciting stuff. Unfortunately, so let me go into that whole hard drive thing. So when I went down and worked with Built Right Excavating, I actually took Isaac, my videographer, with me. He ran an off-road truck. It was an awesome, cool learning experience. First time he's ever been in a piece of equipment at all. So it was great. Wayne and Merrick were super patient, which was really good because we almost tipped the back end of the truck one night. It was a good time. But it was a really, really high-end home. They have a really high-end horse barn about 100 yards, 150 yards away, and they wanted to connect the two with a tunnel. So that was what we were up there for. We excavated that tunnel, hauled all of the material down to create a dam for a pond. It was a really fun project. I recorded the whole project. I was super excited to get back and edit it because I got some sweet drone shots. We got some sweet in-cab shots. It was just an awesome once-in-a-lifetime project. In fact, this right here is a piece of coal from that project. That is what that project meant to me. I actually took a piece of coal. This was in central Ohio, and this is a raw piece of coal straight out of the ground that we pulled while we were digging that tunnel. That's why I have this piece of coal. That's how much the project meant. It was an awesome project. So that being said, we excavated it, recorded the whole thing. I got back, I went to load it on my computer, and the hard drive was done. It smoked. So I sent it over to a PC repair place. They said they couldn't do anything. I had to call a data recovery center. A data recovery center, ladies and gentlemen, here's where more of your donations will ultimately go. The data recovery center wants $1,000 to pull the information off of the drive because they actually have to go buy another drive that is the exact same drive. They have to take the little wafer out of my drive that all of that data's on, put it into the new drive, and read it off of that. It's going to cost me $1,000 to get that footage. I have that drive sitting upstairs in pieces on my desk, waiting until I can afford to go drop $1,000 on that footage. I'm not letting it go. I'm going to salvage that footage. The question is when. And this whole channel is going to determine when I can do that. So the quicker we can get to $1,000 for me to justify going and spending on getting footage off of that drive, I will absolutely do that. So that's kind of where we're at on that. Let's see here. Hit you up on Instagram. Got that. By the way, Brian, I'm proud of you. Great dad. Really cool that you took your kids out on the Operators Challenge. Blessed to have a dad as good as you. Thank you, Jackson. I really appreciate it, man. I really do. I'm blessed to have those kids. They eat up everything that we do in the trades. It wouldn't shock me at all if Devin does something in the industry with Rick and I. It wouldn't shock me at all if Jack turns out to be an engineer that's making all of the CAD files for us on the job site. I mean, those boys really, really do love the industry. It's really, really cool to watch them operate those machines. I mean, Jack's just under 8 years old. Devin just turned 6, and they needed no assistance in those machines. They were just out there digging like it was just not a thing. So, very awesome. Let's see here. Man, it's already 8:30. We are clipping along here. Anyway. Let's see here. I know we haven't talked about it in a while, but if you've been able to look into the channel trip, Ryan, I'm gonna be totally honest, man. I have been so stinking swamped. I have not had a chance to look into it at all. I am currently juggling the dirt, the channel that I do for Randall Riley. I'm juggling this channel. I'm juggling the 2 podcasts. I'm juggling, we just got a job with a large beverage manufacturer that we are also in progress. Rick is in the process of actually getting a house that we have to do a septic. Basically, we're putting in a septic for this new house for the owner that owns the current house that Rick's going to move into. So we're going to go put in the septic. That's actually what I'm working on tomorrow. And then the big beverage manufacturer we're working for that I may have just slipped on who it is, they've actually got a huge project that we are bidding on that will probably keep us busy for the next probably 2 months. Then there's a possibility we're going to go to North Carolina to do a set of storage units. So we've got a ton of stuff on our plate. And on top of that, I'm trying to build a studio. So I've been running around getting permits. I've got a dozer lined out for 2 weeks from now to get a dozer, put a driveway in. We're going to start pulling trees for the pad. We're going to start digging footers. I mean, it is nuts. So unfortunately, Ryan, I have not had a chance at all to look into the channel trip. It is something I want to do. We're going to get there. We're going to get there. Sausage. Local 428 in Phoenix is not like local 150 in Chicago. About to take a $20 an hour haircut. That's the thing. Unfortunately, in the South, you don't have the wages that we do in the North. And that's just, it is what it is. It is what it is. So, let's see here. Kia Reams, all your video content you talked about earlier, GoPro cameras, stuff like that. So Kia, if you go into my channel, the way I have my channel structured is every Monday is a Down and Dirty series, and that is my teaching videos. So if you just want teaching videos, you only need to pay attention to my Monday videos. My vlog series posts on Wednesdays, and that is you're out on the job site with me. I do an intro straight into this camera that we're filming in right now. I talk about what we're going to do for the day or the overall project. And I kind of show you around the job site, and then you're over the shoulder. I have all of my GoPros in the cab with me. I generally try to give you guys a hands cam as well as an outside the machine camera so you can see what I'm doing and what my movements are. And then there's just a ton of tips and tricks that are just naturally flowing. That is one thing I will say. I think the vlogs are very underrated on this channel just because most people don't realize the amount of knowledge that comes out of just looking over someone's shoulder while they operate. I talk all the time about why we're doing things and how we approach things. There's a lot of little nuances that you get out of the vlog series that you don't get through the formal Down and Dirty teaching. So all of it's here on the channel. So just dive back into the archives. I have got so much training material on this channel. It's nuts. So I would highly encourage you to check it out. And then if you have any questions, down here in the bottom, you will see my email address pop up. Here it is. Boom. Contact. Look at the timing on that. Contact@dieselandironproductions.com. Email me. I put that there for a reason. If you have questions about anything, email me, and I am more than happy to help you out. So, let's see here. We got Van Gordon. As soon as I get you the hard drive, I will drop it off tomorrow night for a round. Absolutely. I will take that. So Dylan and I worked on the barn demo. He's actually got the second half of my footage. So yeah, Dylan, if you got a chance, swing it by me, and I would absolutely take that. Or we can just upload it to Dropbox, whatever works for you. I haven't even, well, let me think about that. I may have it uploaded to Dropbox, in which case I will send you the link. I'm going to write a note. Email Dylan. Barn demo footage. All right, I officially have a note, Dylan. I'm going to try to remember to email you tomorrow. I am working with Rick on a job, so I'm going to try to get you first thing in the morning. If I don't have enough time, I will get you here in the next day or two. So let's see here. Boom, boom, boom. Fuck the neighbors. I don't know what that was in reference to, Jackson, but I'll get behind you because I'm not a fan of neighbors. 160, yes, so it is a Volvo 160 that Van Gordon's got, and it is a sexy machine. Yes, Dirty Miner Apparel. I also loved when they're blacked out, and it looks so sick because he's got the steel wrist, and it's got that like lime green. So it's got the lime green with the black backing on it. Oh, it's like chef's kiss good. It's so, that's a sexy machine, especially watching that grapple. That grapple is just nuts what you can do with it. It's awesome. Well, Job Corps is a trade school, and it's free, but you have to have some qualifications to go. So, yeah, Jackson, Job Corps isn't really the trade school in the sense that I'm talking. I'm talking about these trade schools that want to charge kids $15,000 to $30,000 to come out for 4 to 6 weeks. It really rubs me the wrong way because of the education that you get for how much you're paying for it. Dirty Miner Apparel, that's cheap. I don't know what you're referring to. I hope it's not the $1,000 to get the hard drive, because in my mind, that's not cheap. I feel like these data companies know that you need that data, and they're kind of bending you over the table for it. You know, $400 or $500, absolutely, I could justify that. Maybe, yeah, I don't know, because that hard drive costs you about $200. You've got some labor in there. Yeah, $500-$600, I could see that, but $1,000, that one starts to pucker the old bunghole a little bit. So anyway. Let's see here. Make a GoFundMe for the drive. I really should. They'll swap the logic board or the platters. Yeah, that's exactly what I was told. Is they'll most likely swap the platters, but still a grand. It hurts my soul. It really does. It hurts my soul. Hey, Sausage Links, banging out another $2. Thank you so much, Sausage Links. I appreciate it, man. Thank you so much for the support on the channel. I really, really appreciate that. We are working our way to getting the tunnel footage off of that hard drive. Let's see here, Jackson. Which one is this? Is on the spectrum, Jack or Devin? Jack is the one on the spectrum. It's very light. You could almost. It's really. You have to talk to him and get to know him to realize it. But Jack is the one on the spectrum, and I'll tell you, that has been one of those things that so many people think of that as a handicap initially, that he has autism, and yet Jack is a shining example. And Jackson, you're the same way. We talked to you on the podcast again to plug Sweat and Grime. If you guys haven't learned, Jackson was actually on Sweat and Grime. We had a fantastic episode where Jackson talked about having autism and how it helps him. And as you know, Jackson, so many people really like to think about being on the spectrum, having autism, as a handicap, and in a way they think about it as something that sets you apart and sets you back. And I continue to look at Jack as he grows up, and it is incredible as to how much it will help him in life. His brain thinks about analytical situations so much differently than everyone, that it is really, really going to, in some ways it's going to be hard for him, but in a lot of ways, man, he's got such an incredible mind on him. It's unbelievable what he does and how he thinks. One of the questions he asked me the other night is, as he was trying to fall asleep, is how does the skin at the surface of your body stay at the correct temperature? And I'm just like, how do you even, what's going through your mind to even think that way? That's the way he thinks. It's awesome. I love it. Ooh, Dirty Miner. 100 per megabyte. Sweet Lord. Okay, I do feel like $1,000 is kind of cheaper now, but at the same time, I kind of flip over and go the other direction. Like, that's really ripping somebody off. That is outrageous. $100 a megabyte. Good God. That is ridiculous. You're not helping me feel better about this. Let's go back here. Let's see here. We got, thanks, man. Appreciate the insight. Absolutely, Retro. Anytime. If you got any questions, email me. I shared my dad the portion of the podcast from this past week where you were talking about college and the trades need to be pushed more. My dad thinks that there needs to be a balance. I agree to an extent. The problem is we are so far this way right now that there is no balance whatsoever. If you're going to be a doctor, if you're going to be a lawyer, if you're going to be in one of these, maybe the CEO of a company, absolutely, college education, 100%. But for me to be an inside sales guy or even an outside sales guy for a consulting firm, why does that require a 4-year degree or a 6-year degree? Why? There's no reason for it. Other than the fact that everybody else is saying that you need it, why should I have to go get that degree? And that's my big problem with the way college is being pushed. It's just this generic catch-all now. It's this, oh yeah, if you want to work here, you need to have a college degree. Okay, justify to me why I need to have a college degree, and I will go get that degree if you can tell me why I need it. Because I can tell you, I've done inside and outside sales. I didn't need a degree. My degree that is in marketing didn't help me at all in that. So there is a balance, but we are so far this way right now. It's not even close. So. There's enough training material on this channel that I could hop into a bulldozer and start pushing a big pile of clay without a single struggle. You know, Ryan, I appreciate the sentiment behind what you're saying, but I would even go a step further and say that anyone could do that without watching this channel, because just pushing a big pile of clay doesn't require a whole lot of skill. But if you want to fine grade, my man, I got you. I got you. I appreciate it, Ryan. I know what you're saying. I appreciate it. The neighbors complain about the barn need to be taken down. You know, it's one of those things, Jackson, that you just, It is what it is. It's one of the, it's like I tell my son Jack, he loves to bring the wrath of God down upon people that offend him. Sometimes you just gotta let it go. You just gotta recognize it is what it is and go with the flow and move forward in life. So, and yes, Jackson is about to turn 8. So, we got Desiree Hayden. What's going on? Welcome back to the live stream. We got Nick Santa Maria. Thank you for joining us, Nick. And you're not at the very end this week. I'm proud of you. We've got 15 minutes left. It's awesome. Thanks for coming in, man. What are you up to these days? Because man, you popped in, what, 2-3 weeks ago? What are you up to? It's been a while. Good to see you. I'm even amazed myself that I'm succeeding and I'm successful. I have a job that I love and I'm making good money at it. And I've realized that I've been able to kind of turn my autism into a superpower. That's it, Jackson. Really, so many people think of autism specifically as this giant handicap that you have to work through. Does it make social situations harder? Sure, absolutely. Is it harder to interpret social things? Yes. But at the same time, your brain is wired differently. You approach problems so differently than someone who doesn't have autism. It really is a superpower. And I think about that with Jack all the time. He was putting together circuit boards at like 3.5, 4 years old. And I'm just like, holy crap, man. Like, I never would have thought this way. But his brain just thinks that way. And just through our conversation, I know you think differently about situations as well. You're very analytical and you think about things from a different angle. That's a huge benefit. If you can recognize that and lean into it, it will serve you so well. And it's the same for Jack. It's going to serve him so well. Is it going to create some friction in life? Absolutely. He's going to have to work through some friction in social situations. But my God, is he going to succeed when he really leans into that and uses that brain. It is awesome. Let's see here. Living the dream. That's good, Nick. That's really good to hear. And how hot is it up there in the old Canada? Hey Brian, I know pushing up a pile of clay is nothing special, but from your channel, I knew to practice techniques, so even while pushing up the pile I was working on, pushing level and smooth. I know, Ryan, I just had to give you some crap on that. I do appreciate it, and like I said, I know where you're coming from. I know what you mean, and I really do appreciate you kind of reaffirming what we're doing here on the channel, so I really appreciate it. Nick, running all sorts of decent machines. So you're not in anything good, you're just in decent machines? That sounds like that's a spectacular review. I went to this restaurant and ate some decent food. I'll give it 3 stars. It was a long push, so I was using that for more when just making the machine go forward and backwards. That's awesome, Ryan. And I am happy that it thrills me to death. It really does. Whenever people take really good stuff away from this channel. You guys know. By this point, you guys know. My passion is for the industry and helping you guys. It delights me when I hear that you guys are using stuff that you learned on the channel out in the field and it's being successful for you. That's awesome. Love it. Love it. Did you get my email question story? I don't think so. When did you send it over? And man, did I? I don't know. Desiree, what was your story on? You'll have to be more well, hang on now. Tell me what you posted to us, Desiree, and I'll let you know if I got it or not. Because I did get someone that sent me a whole series of pictures, and I can't remember if that was you or not. And I think my wife posted them all up, but I don't remember. Because that's where we're at in life. I'm old, and I smoke too much weed, and I have no memory. But I didn't say that out loud, right? No. An operator that smokes weed? What? Oh yeah, if it was a week ago, if it was all, so you were the one that sent us all the pictures with the Sany, right? Was it the Sany machine? I don't remember if that was you or not, because I didn't. Let me go. What I did and pay. See, now you're making me double. Let's see here, Desiree. Would it have come from is your email name Desiree or is it Hayden? What email address did it come from? Because I can look right now. No pics. No. Then I didn't get it. I don't think I did get it. Maybe I didn't get it. I don't know. Because the only one I got was pictures, and we actually posted those. So I don't know. Company I work for bought a Lee Bear 938 excavator. We had a 936 on demo. The machine was pretty nice. It's too hot to shovel snow, so it's good. How do you like the Lee Bear excavator? I haven't run an excavator. I only ran their dozer, and I loved the dozer as far as an operator standpoint, but they had a ton of issues with it. So mechanic wise, and I think it was just a lemon machine. So I don't want to hold anything against Lee Bear at this point, but it was a very comfortable machine. So how is that 938? I'm curious. Let's see here. Week ago, let's see here. My favorite thing about this channel is we're all one big family. Mine too, Jackson. I really do love the community we've created here. It's a really, really awesome deal. And by the way, we're going to draw a line here pretty quick. I know we're about 10 minutes early, but things are starting to wind down here. I think we should draw our line, and start wrapping things up. But Jackson, I'm totally right there with you. The community that we're making here, it is like a family. We all get along. We all give each other a lot of crap, but we're also, congratulating each other when we get jobs and when we progress in our careers. I love it. I absolutely love it. That's what the trades is. In my mind, that's what the trades always should be. We are a true brother and sisterhood. We should all be here to support each other. We should all be out here to make sure everyone succeeds. That's what this industry is about. And I love it that it's happening here. I really do. I really do. Jackson, yes, you have sent me a ton of pictures, and I think we're getting ready to post another round of your pictures. I got to check with Melissa. Yep, a 950X power and the smaller John Deere loader, which are Lee Bear. It's the fuel consumption that amazes me. It's down by half. Holy crap, that's impressive. What'd you think about the Lee Bear loader? I used to think it was a 955 for a couple minutes. It was insanely quiet and smooth. Ran about 30 minutes. But I can where it is. It has its weak points. Okay. Did you get in touch with Carson about the podcast? I did. I've not specifically about the podcast. I actually might be going back out to Minnesota, which is what our conversation was about. We yet again touched on the subject that he needs to get on the podcast, but Carson is unbelievably busy right now. And so it's probably going to be till fall, winter time. Or if we do end up down there in Minnesota again, I will just do a live podcast with him. And, he won't have any option. Ah, yes. So anyway, all right. So yeah, exactly. Whiskey time. That's it. Too much electronic on the Lee Bear. Interesting take. Interesting take. Let's see. Your track frame doesn't look long compared to the 336E we use for the pipe crew. Interesting. Huh. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're gonna call that an evening. I know we're a little early tonight, but it's starting to wind down. I think this is an appropriate time. You know what? Before we wind down, I do need to look at my calendar to see if we're gonna be live next weekend. So next weekend, what time is that? That is, I don't know. We're going to have to see about next weekend. So stay tuned. If you see the little live icon next weekend, I will go live. I have a baseball game with the kids because the kids played baseball this year. They absolutely loved it. So I told them I'd take them to a game. We are going to a game next Sunday. It's a, minor league game, but it's going to be a lot of fun. So I don't know what time that game wraps up. If you see the icon that we're going live, we're going live. If you don't see it by Sunday, mid-morning, we're not going to go live because I'm going to be at a baseball game with my kids. And I'm sorry, as much as I love you guys and the community, I do love my children more. And I will judge you if you fault me for that. So that's where we're at. So you guys have yourself a lovely evening. Have yourself a great week. Thank you again for everyone who donated to the channel. I appreciate it. I really do, as always. And we will catch you guys next week on the live stream.